This is an Irish independent podcast.
Ho, ho, ho!
Oh, Christmas Eve, everybody. Welcome. Good to have you with us on Bits and Baubles. Ronan, hello.
Hi, Joe.
Conan, hello to you. Happy Christmas Eve. People will be listening on Christmas Day, Boxing Day indeed, and beyond. So happy Christmas to all of the listeners.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yes, indeed.
Conan's like that Cillian Murphy meme in Oppenheimer. You know, what have I done? It's just dawning on you now that you've come up with a great concept and a great name, but what is the next 28 minutes going to look like?
I did a good job, but at what cost?
We were all hit with that problem. Bits and Baubles have to do it. What is it? Your favourite day of Christmas? I mean, for Christmas Eve is the one for me. I tend to... The anticipation. Halfway through Christmas Day, I'm on, oh, God.
Can't be topped. Like,
Can't be topped.
I go through an odd little... I don't know. I just think Christmas Eve is a family day. And certainly Christmas Day.
Yes.
But Christmas Eve, like, as you in your 20s, your friends are going for drinks and stuff and, like, taking that, and it's usually an afternoon thing. And then, like, I was just habitually might go to evening mass, and it always in my head it was always like a family thing. But then as you get a little older, you know, you end up having to make that decision a bit more. So
do you know what? Actually, I think I just said the best day of the lot thoughtlessly there. I haven't really post the 20s. Let's go out and drink and ruin your Christmas Day dinner. I haven't actually managed to nail down a great Christmas Eve tradition. I need to do that.
yeah.
I don't know what I do. I've gone into town the last couple of Christmas Eve mornings quite early.
Yeah, I think that is the nicest vibe.
It is. Town on Christmas Eve morning for brunch is really, really good.
Only when you're not rushing around trying to get stuff. If you can have that brunch and watch the chaos around you, it's beautiful.
You know, you don't have to be buying stuff if you can avoid it. We asked for emails. There were some.
There were emails.
This one came in at 9:36 a.m. this morning, just in time, and it may just be the best of the bunch. I think, Ronan, you said when you requested emails in, this is precisely what you were hoping for. You didn't know what you were looking for exactly.
Yeah, it was intangible. It was somewhere, you know, I just couldn't wrap my arms around it, but this emailer has nailed it.
Yeah, I knew it when I saw it. It's this email. So, shout out to Mark in Belfast, who emailed in this email this morning, and I think everyone in the office who read it went, oh God. Hi lads, happy Christmas. First time ever to contact any radio or podcast. Mark, we are honoured. One for Bits and Baubles. Sport and Christmas for me. Every Christmas I went to my granny's in Fermanagh. On St. Stephen's Day, Boxing Day, Conan, he adds, myself, Dad and Uncle used to travel to Bundoran in Donegal to watch the football. First calling in at the bookies to make a few bets in Leopardstown. These were the years 2001 to 2012. It was always good crack. One year sticks out in the mind. It was pre-Fire Stick years when if you wanted to watch games not on Sky Sports, you needed a foreign satellite, which many pubs had. We were all set to watch Manchester United against Bolton. There was a big poster under the TV saying Man United versus Bolton live 3 p.m. Anyway, it got to 3:02 p.m. No Man United game. The barman was frantically flicking through the Bulgarian sports channels. No Premier League. I mentioned to my dad, I should give context here, Mark is 15 years of age, this email. I mentioned to my dad that the game was likely on Dima TV, which is listed in the entertainment and not the sports section on Bulgarian television. How did I know this? Basically, my mate's dad had the same setup at his house, and I'd enjoyed a few games in Bulgarian already. Anyway, my uncle walked me over to the bar, calls to the barman and says, I can fix the TV, pointing to me. I was a fairly shy kid, so I didn't really know where to look. Next thing, I have the remote control in my hand. I'm trying to remember the channel name, Diema. After a few groans and false tries, I found the Man United game. Big cheer around the bar. As I shuffled back to my seat, Ryan Giggs scored. A second cheer went up around the room. 5 minutes before halftime, the barman came down and set 3 pints of Guinness in front of us as a thank you. I looked at my dad, and it was then that I enjoyed my first draft beer ever. I pushed my Coke to the side. My dad and uncle said nothing, and we enjoyed the beer, just the one for me, and the United win. I'm always nostalgic for these Christmas football days. It's a far cry from every Boxing Day game and TV these days, plenty of clips on the phone. I've young kids now, so no pub for me on Stephen's Day. But I'll be thinking about that Guinness and the Bulgarian commentary. Happy Christmas, Mark in Belfast.
That's great.
Can you feel the bit of emotion?
Oh,
Yeah.
I have a warm, fuzzy feeling.
Yeah, that's basically the Belfast Donegal version of a Hallmark movie. Like, that is so wholesome in its own way.
So beautiful. If there's not a Guinness ad with that next year, Mark in Belfast, I think something's gone wrong. I feel it, as I say.
Yeah.
I don't know if his father is still alive or his uncle is still alive. I don't know the last time they had a pint together, but that's a great first pint.
Yeah, and a lovely Christmas memory in general. Like, there's something to be said for, not routine, because that sounds a bit too staid.
Tradition.
It is tradition. It's just like knowing that, oh, it's November, geez, I can't wait until Christmas because you're going to be doing X, Y, and Z, and it might be people you're going to catch up with. And it's something which is a common refrain for everybody. Like, when I go home, I'm going to meet up with school friends who you just don't regularly see. And that's just, the thought of that is nice. So
I'm at an interesting point in my life. I feel a real crossover. So, first child is 2 in January. I'm 39, and I all my old traditions are sort of what's the phrase?
they're evolving, or
On the vine,
Yeah.
withering on the vine. I need
a bit
to.
more grim than I was going.
Sorry, evolving.
I was trying to be nice.
I need to set in motion the traditions of the next phase of my life.
Yeah.
But now you're creating traditions for the
Precisely.
next generation,
Precisely.
which is probably an even nicer sensation.
I think so, and it just occurred to me actually. I need to set the traditions
Yeah,
now.
you set the tone now.
Yeah. What are the great traditions? Because I watched. Did you ever watch This Is Us? It's a US TV drama.
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah. I think it's exquisitely good in many ways. And the father, Jack Pearson, was a great man to set great traditions for his children. And I do remember thinking, that's exactly right. That's the way it should be. And at the moment, there are no traditions. So a bit back to our Christmas Eve point, I was just thinking, how do I want my Christmas Eve to look? Are we a house that will open presents? Is that, you certain presents on Christmas Eve, some houses do that. We never did.
Yeah.
Maybe I do want to be that house. All of these kind of things. So that Stephen's Day football with your dad and uncle in Bundoran, 2001 to 2012.
That struck me as well, that little parameter.
It's a
Like
great,
that, yeah.
it's a great decade. I mean, life isn't necessarily short, but the periods in your life are short. So you get 10 Stephen's Day with your dad and your uncle.
But isn't it funny? Like, I remember watching games when we didn't have the channels, and equally at those 3 o'clock kickoffs where they just weren't available, but, some places were showing them. I was too young to understand how all that was working. But like, I remember, for some reason, Liverpool United was on at 3 o'clock. The fixture had fallen so low down the pecking order, and Danny Murphy scored a penalty to win it at Old Trafford. I think he scored like 3 winners in a row or something against United. But the point is, me and my dad were on this like wild goose chase trying to find somewhere to watch the football, and I remember that. I don't remember the game.
I know.
The journey, not the destination. It's interesting though, because I think you're touching on trying to create traditions after Christmas too. Because every time I think about setting that tone, you're thinking, what's the excitement going to be in the build-up? We're going to go see all the lights. We're going to make snow angels. You have all this stuff in your head of what we're going to do every year. But then I never think about 26th, 27th, 28th, which I think is a dead period. I've always actually hated that period, apart from
Have you?
the Boxing Day game down in Steelstown, GA. I love that. It's one of my favourite times of the year. After that, it just feels like the magic's out of the air. I know we're all off and we enjoy the week off, but I actually feel like they should put Christmas to the 30th and let you enjoy a week of build-up where the magic's still in the air.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Imagine Christmas Day and then 2 days later New Year's.
Yeah.
It'd be a burst. Yeah, I think it's important to lock stuff in 27, 28. It can drift.
I actually like the whole, it should be a FOMO free zone. And like, I'm not on Instagram. I've just kind of taken myself off all that. I was actually never on Instagram, but I'm not plugged into social media as much anymore. And I did feel like, even though I'm making plans and, I'm living what I consider, enjoyable, like making those plans, but like, you kind of arrive at traditions. You don't, I think if you're going out of your way to create them, possibly a little inauthentic or something, but you'll arrive at what the rhythm, I think. Does that make sense?
No, it does. It's nice to have something organic. Like, I definitely, for a year or two, me and brothers jumped into Dollymount since I've moved out that neck of the woods. But I think Christmas tends to be away from that part of the world, more towards the parents. So I think that may become a 26th, 27th tradition for those reasons. So there's still an organic hue to it. But but somewhere in my mind, I'm thinking, we should jump in the sea, though, at Christmas time. What's so lovely about the Bulgarian TV story, and he does note that, young kids now, so Stephen's Day, look, the game will be on his phone. There's no hardship there. We all, all the studies would show, we all have kind of, we don't know what's good for us. So we have a leaning towards not socialising at times, or not going through the hardship of going down to the pub and, God, I can't get a seat and it's all a bit crowded. And sure, the match is here on my TV in front of me, so I'll just stay here. But obviously the better thing for us to do is to go, be forced into socialising initially, but then you might enjoy it, and then you have a magical moment like this. But my days of going to Stephen's Day pubs, I'd say, are gone. To watch sporting events, I'd say, are gone at least 6 or 7 years now. I think COVID was a real circuit breaker for me. I never got back into a lot of pre-COVID
I never
stuff.
liked watching sporting events in pubs anyway. I'm not against pubs, not coming for them. I like going there. But I hate watching a match at it. Too much going on. Are you socialising when you're watching the match? Even somebody comes around to your house and you're watching the match and they're chatting to you. It's like, hang on. What?
I know. I always remember turning up to a friend's house for the 06 Heineken Cup final. We were in college together. It was a little bit unannounced, but I knew he'd be watching it. And I thought, God, I'd watch it with him. I like the look on his face.
Really, yeah?
He's like, this is too important to me.
06, Munster.
Their first ever European Cup win.
Oh, yeah.
So that thing in the pub, am I watching the game or am I talking to you? Can't do both.
You know what? We'll get into it next year. But like Super Bowl watch parties are the big thing in America. Like you're nobody if you're not at a watch party for these things. Yeah. Unless you're super. Ironically, it's the super NFL fans who couldn't care less about going to a watch party. Because Bill Burr is like, I go to these parties. All the football fans watch the football and everyone else is waiting for the ads. So during the football, they're talking about how cool was that ad? Oh, who was that? And he's like, I want to watch what was third down. So I take your point.
Will we push out an exceptional email from Mark?
That was lovely. Thanks so much. Sincerely, because we said this wasn't a very tangible concept for a show, and that's exactly what we were looking for.
Okay. To less emotive ones. Jamie from Kildare said, serious like a chat about the darts. He means on the podcast. Considering Conan's love of Wayne Mardle, in brackets, dreadfully sad news about his wife, which it really is. I thought we would get more about the darts. This could be under the Christmas chat, considering it is a staple of most people's sporting Christmases. I hope this gets rectified soon. Jamie from Kildare. Jamie, we will touch on the darts here. Whilst we are very much in here and live on Christmas Eve, we won't be referring to recent events for a variety of reasons.
Just moves too quick.
Yeah.
This tournament.
Darts, Christmas, I guess it's synonymous. Big part of your world.
Yeah, I always actually think Ali Pali is like Christmas time as well. Just when it's on your TV and it reminds you of just setting your cares aside for a little period. People going to Ali Pali certainly have done that. They're just, inhibitions to the wind. They're dressed up in whatever way they want to. They're dancing. They're singing football songs. They're doing whatever they want. Some of them aren't even watching the darts, to the point in the pub. This is the beauty as well, I think, of the darts players who are on stage getting nervous because there's a big crowd. If you look into that crowd, most of them are turned around just with their hands in the air, looking at the camera, doing something silly.
There'd be no sooner way to remind yourself this isn't that important than looking at the crowd.
Just look at the crowd and you'll be all right. And I just think every time that's on, every time I see that crowd just getting giddy and carefree, it's sort of a reminder of that's what Christmas is about as well, if you can make it that way. Yeah.
I had a game of darts recently and it reminded me just how impressive they are.
Oh my God.
They're a very underrated skill set.
I hate, when people talk about, we're not going to get into it, but it's darts a sport. Just try and hit double tops and come back to me.
Try and do it twice in a row.
Exactly, and then try and do it when there's pressure on. When that Ali Pali crowd is breathing down your neck.
I can't hit the same quarter of the board.
It's unbelievable. It's like the skill level required, the commitment. It's such a hard, fine physical skill you have to try and produce over and over.
So difficult. Yeah. So darts, yes, thumbs up, Jamie. I don't really think that's the chat you were looking for, but I guess it's part of the world. There's a similar, theme about sport at Christmas. Hi lads, I'm answering the Bits and Baubles call with an email from my adopted home in Oregon. I've been here for 9 years now. Always been struck by the sportification of Christmas Day, a centrepiece in the calendar for the NBA. But now even the NFL are making a big splash, showing 2 huge games on Netflix Christmas Day this year. I'm not sure if it's my Irish sensibility, but live sport on Christmas Day seems all wrong. It should be strictly a day for questionable movies I would never otherwise watch, or reheated Christmas specials. If I'm Oh, sorry. Am I underestimating the appetite for this kind of thing? Shane in Portland via Buncrana. Yeah, not a chance I'll be watching sport on Christmas Day.
Yeah,
Not for me.
It's incongruous or something, isn't it? So at the NFL have Thanksgiving, different kind of vibe, I guess. Like, but it's
Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving's huge in America.
bigger. It is definitely bigger.
So it's even let's just put it through an Irish prism that it's at least on par what we would consider Christmas Day, like levels wise.
Yeah.
And they're showing it's a huge NFL tradition on that day.
I just feel like if you think of American culture and say all the Christmas movies, Christmas Day is elevated higher than Thanksgiving. You know, it's not like planes, trains, automobiles getting home for Thanksgiving. It's Christmas.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. But what I'm saying is it's up there. Like it's a huge day in the calendar, and they've identified that there's a huge appetite for sports on these days, and there's tradition within that of the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, always play on that day. So they put great stock in Thanksgiving.
Who are these fans leaving their family on Christmas Day?
Yeah. But then the NBA were like, okay, second place, we'll take Christmas Day. So they show games all day. And yeah, those arenas are packed out and people are watching them. Basketball, there's less viewership compared to football. But
do you know why I don't like it? Because it normalises the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Christmas Day is very, very special.
You shouldn't know what time it is. You shouldn't know what day of the week it is.
Yeah.
You really shouldn't.
You should be surrounded by tinsel and lights and trees and chocolate wrappers. You shouldn't be doing anything normal.
You should be in Quality Street at 10:15.
Yeah.
Although Liverpool Man City is on at 7 o'clock on Christmas night, you're telling me you're not going to tune in?
Maybe by 7 p.m.
Maybe by 7. But do you know what? We don't know what's good for us. We're better off not having... Yeah, I probably would tune in. And that actually would mean that I wouldn't have the quiz. It's a bit like that point of we don't know what's good for us, and you wouldn't go to the pub to watch Bulgarian TV because it's so convenient to watch the match, and therefore you wouldn't meet all these people. Yeah, I probably would watch Liverpool Man City, but then I wouldn't have the quiz where we all have a fight afterwards, and it's, a core memory.
But it's funny, like movies and stuff that you only watch at Christmas time, because there's a bit of regularity with the movies that are shown that aren't even Christmas movies. Like Some Like It Hot. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
And like that's one of my favourite films of all time, but I'm not watching it. I would never carve out an hour and a half to watch it during the year, but I know it's going to be on 11 times over Christmas, and I'd prefer to watch that.
Yeah, well, that's another issue, because I wouldn't want the Villa game on Christmas Day. I don't think anybody around me would want the Villa game on as well.
Ruin your mood on Christmas Day.
Yeah, and even if I pretend like it's not ruining my mood, it is ruining my mood. Like it's unbelievable, and I know some people will think this is sad, but how much happier I'll just be in general, just because every time I'm going to think, every 10 minutes I'm going to think of Villa, or Ronan will bring it up just to annoy me at the desk. And if my last memory is fond, it's like, life's a bit better, life's a bit easier to get by today.
You like to go into the Christmas window off the back of a win, do you?
Yeah. But if they're playing on Christmas Day, then it could ruin the magic.
I suspect because we tend to follow America, and because there's money to be made, Premier League will start thinking about it. We might be there inside the next 5 years, but I've never despaired over humanity for so many reasons at the moment. Some deeper than this, to be fair. But I don't like that shops are open on Christmas Day now. I don't get it. Who needs a shop open?
Are they?
Yeah. Garages, shops open.
I didn't realise that.
You're like, so what? So someone can get milk? Like, you'll be grand, you'll survive. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're doing this. I was talking to a guy who delivered, I don't want to say the name of the store, but you can get home deliveries now, food. And he's South African. We were sort of chatting, and Christmas came up, and what are you doing? And it was, I had planned to go home, but I applied for my annual leave, but they rejected it all, so I'm here. What's this? What is this? So this creep of what are we doing?
Yeah, no, I was doing the very by rote small talk with a taxi driver a couple of weeks ago.
Was he busy that night?
Busy that night. Plans for Christmas? Is it busy around town? But he was making the point that, and I think this is nice, and it's probably slightly out of the realm of what you're talking about, but I have a few regulars, I'll work on Christmas Day and bring them around. So
that's beautiful. That's community
That's lovely,
based.
isn't it, though?
Yeah,
I just thought that was a really good point. But he's not getting his free now commission for that. He's like, I have 4 or 5 people I bring around every day. I'm not going to abandon them on Christmas Day.
Beautiful.
But I think that's nice. But it's different than big corporations.
I think someone who works in a shop, probably not getting a huge wage, and is told, yeah, come here, this incredibly special day, and if you add it up over the course of your life, you don't get many.
Yeah.
We'd like you to come in and just sell milk. and petrol to people.
It doesn't just ruin that day; it ruins all the days ahead of it because you're like, oh,
I have to work Christmas Day.
Exactly.
I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah. And just to finish on the appetite point from the email, like I was mentioning, if whoever like Boston Celtics are playing, the arena will be full. If a comparative game was on in Ireland, say they played the club final on Christmas Day as it was on St Patrick's Day previously, there'd be no one at that game.
No.
Yeah, I think I'm more on the favour of just give us a big bit of entertainment and the thing that we love most. not family football.
Bits and bobs on Christmas Day.
Yeah, give us more bits and bobs. I think I'm more towards that. Remember the COVID season, the 2020 All-Ireland final was on, I think it was exactly a week before Christmas, the 18th of December.
It was a Saturday as well.
I
Yeah.
loved that.
That was fine.
That was amazing. Like I remember that going in, I know obviously, going into lockdown again and there's all sorts of stuff that we didn't like, but that period, it was like sport was back on. We were locked down. No FOMO, as Ronan's talking about. It's like lock me down. Give me all the sport on the TV.
I'm all for Stephen's Day sport.
Yeah,
No problem with that. But I think just one day.
I remember the St Stephen's Day fixtures were an abomination last year.
Yeah.
So
Were they?
disappointing when you look at them and you're like, there's some tasty ones this year.
Are there?
Villa played United and they lost.
Villa played United on Stephen's Day last
During
year.
Christmas. I was either that or 27th.
Yeah,
I haven't done
Yeah.
the Leopard's Tent thing actually. That seems to be very popular. And now, sorry, the Kempton's always on. Is that the day of the King? That's the day of the King George. Yes, yeah.
But all these Premier League clubs are training on Christmas Day. So every time I see that, I'm like, get onto the pitch there.
I remember habitually putting on Sky Sports News on Christmas Day back in the day, and you're like, I felt so sorry for the presenters. Like they were doing the same story
Unbelievable.
over and over again.
Unbelievable. The thing with the matches,
they're-
though, you're dragging stewards, you're dragging all sorts of people on
Yeah.
their Christmas Day. I just think, let's have one.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's it's the only day.
It is the only day.
Oh, it's Christmas Eve as well. We don't see any matches on Christmas Eve.
I don't know, sometimes.
Do you?
But I think there is like a cut-off, like 3 p.m. They won't have any night games on Christmas
Okay,
Day.
yeah.
We'll push on, will we?
Yeah.
So that's a thumbs down for me on Christmas Day sport. Conan a bit more open to it, I think.
I'll be watching the Netflix,
Will you?
because it's late at night. Like,
All right, okay. Oh, yeah. I thought this was a good bloody question, and I didn't have a good answer. Lads, really love the show, especially bits and bobs section, as you never know what might come up. Anyways, just for your Christmas Eve special, if you could have a hypothetical sports wish present for 2025, what would it be? For example, Rory to win the Masters, or even just a major city to have the 115 charges ruled against them, Ireland to qualify for a World Cup, etc., etc. Harry. Oh, I didn't have an answer, and just his last one there. Yes, Ireland to qualify for the World Cup.
yeah,
I'll take that one, Harry.
That is the one. That would just be transformative. There's several generations now who've never had the chance to travel to a World Cup. I think it would be an amazing thing for the country.
Dan was talking about it.
Men's World Cup, of course. I grant you.
Dan was talking about it a few weeks ago, and talking about how he was about to go to the one in 2002 and then didn't. And then he's like, I'll go to the next one, and there was no next one, and it's very real at this point.
What's your one?
Hard to look past that. Yeah, mine's so dull. I was telling you this off air.
Right. And all you said was it was dull. I don't know what it is.
Dull in comparison to
Getting to a World Cup.
Yeah, but like so Gaelic football is obviously going into this big evolution with the new rules and stuff. And I just kind of want them to work.
I just want everyone to be happy. Okay, fine.
No, I just want
Conan.
them to work because we're never going to get another crack at this.
We might.
No, I think if this doesn't work, it's going to be like, do you remember to try to do that?
Yeah,
It's
maybe.
like back to square one. It's
Yeah,
like,
maybe. Jim Gavin had one shot.
if we're sitting here next year, you're like, Jesus, that was an appalling championship, and then we're never doing it again. I feel like for all our happiness, I don't want to be coming in here in a few months' time, Joe, and be talking about blanket defences again and all this. So these rules need to work.
Need to work. Okay. No, that's not a bad one, to be fair.
Ronan's like Jim Gavin there, asked, what wish do you want? It's like, I just want the process to work and continue to evolve.
Yeah, as long as it goes through the right channels.
Yeah.
Signed off at county board level.
Yeah. Well, a predictable one is obviously Derry winning all Ireland. Every year I do a calendar for my mum, and it's July now, but you can put pictures on each state, and I always mark the All Ireland final day. And I was looking at the one from this year as well, thinking, Derry are going to be there because they just got beat by Kerry in the semi-final last year. And there's a picture that Sportsfile had, and it's me and all my family, my uncle, my nephew, my brother, my wife, my sister-in-law and stuff were all just there going mad. Derry had just scored a goal at Croke Park. And there's something nice about it. Kerry scored a goal about 30 seconds later. But that moment is just untouched now. You know, sort of like the story from Bundoran, from Mark's email. It's like that moment will never be forgotten. There's a picture of us all screaming like the souls have left their bodies. And like I have that marked on the All-Ireland final day for 2024 in Armagh. Obviously went and did it. I've got the 27th of July marked this year. That's the All-Ireland final 2025. Hoping that Derry will be there. But I think my biggest wish of the year is that I've got a new son. He's 5 months old.
That he's a prodigy.
That he's going to be left-footed. Yeah. I don't care if he likes sport or not, but if he does, I want him to be...
What time?
My son is going to be left-footed. Jesus.
At what stage of life do you even establish that?
Can you not? You can force him into it, could you, at this
I'm
age?
sort of trying to do that already. You know, when he's rolling, it's like, come on, you lean with your left. Come on,
Yeah.
Let's just focus on that a bit more.
Interesting.
Project Mbappe has been derailed a bit by the fact that, you know, Mbappe's gone off the rails. You want someone a bit more longevity, like James Milner.
Yeah, and people will say,
Wanna be you know,
tell them they practice both feet, you know, it's good to be... But yes, but...
You'd like a lefty.
Left-footers are
That's
nicer.
fair.
They're more creative.
I did have one backup idea just because I knew how dull my own was.
Yeah.
I was watching a compilation of Jack Grealish before he went to Man City, and it was basically like, what have you done to my beautiful boy? Because he was so, the flourishes and like, just amazing goals. So my wish for you, Conan, is that Jack Grealish goes back to Aston Villa next summer. And he goes back to where he belongs.
Football deserves that.
Football deserves. He's still got some left in the tank.
Siobhan has emailed in. Before we get too positive here.
Are you sticking with Ireland World Cup? That's yours.
Completely.
That's yours. Okay.
It needs no explanation.
Cheating.
That would just be
That's the best one to be
by a
fair.
mile. Not to position you all as my Anthony or my agony uncles. Every Christmas, my siblings rug me up the wrong way. But obviously, I do want to spend time at home with my parents. Any advice, Siobhan?
Jesus, Siobhan.
Stick a game on.
It's a common problem.
Something to be said for sport on Christmas Day.
I think pull your sibling, your offending siblings aside and say, listen, it's Christmas. Sick of your shit. I'm sick of you. I'm sick of your face. Rein it in. Oh, I don't know. Very tricky time.
I don't know. Where do you stand on going out a solo walk, a solo run on Christmas?
I think essential for some people.
Yeah.
It's tricky. I don't know, Siobhan. I don't know the dynamics. Do your best.
Not easy.
No, it's not. It's not. Intense time.
I actually don't want to make light of it because it's
No.
actually extremely stressful.
Well, I suppose we're lacking information there. Is it like, I don't like the way my brother chews and I hate what he watches on TV? Or there may be very serious issues.
Who's in control of the remote?
Yeah, that's kind of a,
That's okay.
you've kind of retreated into your 11-year-old selves again, and the youngest is acting like the youngest and the oldest is acting.
Yeah.
Those dynamics kind of are entrenched, I think, when you're all together, and that can be difficult, I think, if you go back and you don't like your place in the family. But there may be more serious situations.
Do you go back home?
Yeah.
That's probably another thing that's going to change as you.
Yeah,
kid gets
we were
older.
funny. I know. I'm in a real passage of time period. Simon says,
You're laughing at Simon Says.
yeah,
Christmas getting it.
dear. Looking forward to Bits and Baubles. I sincerely hope you're wearing Santa hats. I'll be watching on YouTube. Can you give a shout out to my daughter Eilish? She is forced to endure your, in my opinion, ramblings far too often.
Is he saying, in his opinion, she's forced to listen, or that our conversations are rambling?
I think it's a jab. I'm trying to get the children in my life sporting gifts this year. What were the best sporting gifts you were given? I won't hear this until at least Christmas Day, probably Boxing Day, looking at you, Colin. So this will be of no practical use to me. I'm just curious, Simon says. FIFA was the big one in our house. I don't know if you can class that as a sporting gift, but that was the guaranteed
Big time.
gift on a Christmas Day for a long time.
Yeah, because I always asked for FIFA for Christmas, and then it comes out in like end of September. So as I got into later years of secondary school, my friends would part-time jobs and they'd buy it for themselves. And I'd be like, no, you can't do that. It's a Christmas thing.
Yeah.
So I'd be there stuck playing whatever, FIFA 09 when it was FIFA 10 was out or whatever.
Yeah.
Felt like
Best
such a
sporting
chump.
gift. Don't really have any strong memories of one coming through.
Oh, what about the Kickmaster? Do you remember the Kickmaster?
Yeah.
A little net for the ball. The ball wouldn't go
Joe
anywhere.
just winced at you there. Colin.
Yeah. What was that about? To say goodbye to running after your ball.
Because it's a little bit basic or remedial or something.
If you're a certain standard,
I'm not kicking the ball against the wall.
we had a lot of neighbours Christmas Day, a lot of neighbours coming out saying, stop kicking that ball against the wall.
Kickmaster wouldn't have gone down well.
It's not really a replicable skill either in real football, is it?
No.
Always like Space Jam.
I wouldn't get it for the boy.
Somebody put up...
only you're allowed to kick that with your left foot.
I'm only going to get a left-footed boot for him. Forget about the right foot.
Oh, football boots are a great thing.
Yeah.
So that's good. Beautiful, yeah.
Wearing them around the house.
Wearing them in, breaking them in on Christmas Day.
That's nice, yeah.
Stuff.
Somebody put up a ball games prohibited sign at the side of the houses on our street, but for years, young, I didn't know what prohibited meant, and I thought it meant they're encouraged. So I was like, that's really sound to them.
The red circle with the line through it. Didn't.
Very famously, that sign went up where Johnny Giles was from.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the square. Is it Ormond?
Why? After he was gone?
Oh, long gone.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a real, like, this is a tale of the times. Ball sports prohibited on the pasture that made Johnny Giles,
Yeah.
Yeah, boots are great. FIFA good. I guess the football never hurts, but it's not that memorable.
Yeah, I would have got like football jerseys.
Yeah, jersey's nice.
Sabutio, which I was like, did you ever play Sabutio?
It's really bad.
Yeah, but I was like, well, I got it when I was way too young and I was like breaking all the little figurines.
No.
Yeah.
No good.
Do you know what I always wanted, never got? A boxing...
Bag.
I did get
bag.
one of them for Christmas.
Did you?
Yeah.
I dream of that.
Nice.
Maybe one day.
I've nothing jumping out. My strongest Christmas memory is getting Boyzone tickets for a concert.
And who did you give those to?
I was obviously, I think it was 9. I liked Boyzone.
Oh, yeah.
I love Boyzone.
It's the first concert I ever went to. That was a big, what?
Well, when I heard
Going to a concert?
when I heard the lead singer was called Ronan, I was like, are we like brothers or how does that work?
All right, I was 11.
No, but I underrated.
I'm going to Boys Life next year.
Yeah, Boys Life. Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was my big one. What's your greatest ever Christmas present? We'll finish on this. Siobhan has taken a break for her siblings. She's got her 33 minutes of angst out of her. She's ready to get back in there. That's a happy thought. Your happiest ever Christmas present.
You have to come back to me.
You should know. You obviously didn't have a great one then.
No, I did. It's probably too hard to choose. I'm trying to think of... no, actually, I can't say it. I was going to say it out loud in case there's...
Well, sorry, is this you'd be crushing the beliefs here?
There was a staging post where your perception of the gifts you were getting changes, and if that makes sense, the source of them.
Okay.
So I think I probably hold the pre-gifts in a higher esteem because there was an element.
The magic of it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to think of that period.
I vividly remember saying, why can't you get me gifts like Santa?
Yeah.
You're so mean. No, you'd never get us this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember getting an N64 one time.
Yeah, like anything like that's just amazing.
Amazing. PlayStation for me.
Yeah.
It probably is PlayStation 2. Yeah.
Just because I got so much out of it, like
your teenage years and your 20s.
It's some presents you get that's amazing, but after a week you're like, oh. Okay.
True.
Whereas the PlayStation just renews itself.
It's like a fine wine.
Yeah, I think you said this recently, but like N64, like we still pull that out at Christmas now. We're all in our 30s, some 40s, and it's like, let's get this out. 4 control pads. Let's play Mario Kart.
It's mad, isn't it? Our Sega Mega Drive still works.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, fellas, I think we're done. We don't want to drag this out overly, do we?
No,
Bits, baubles, short, sharp, festive.
I'm picturing people having their Christmas Eve brunch, hopefully. I don't think there'd be too many people listening to this on the way home from the pub on Christmas Eve evening.
You never know.
Well, let's see.
Christmas Day, Stephen's Day.
What are you watching? Like, do you have a film plan to watch? Like,
Gavin and Stacey Christmas special.
Oh yeah, I dig into that for nostalgia. I think James Corden has crossed into strange territory.
I basically said, like, no offense to any of my family or friends listening, but like, that's what I'm most looking forward to, and then everything else afterwards.
Stop.
No, I'd be close to that. Yeah, I think it gets a lot of undue hate because people don't like James Corden.
Yeah, that's happened. I think fundamentally it has great heart. That can cover a multitude. Even an average Scrubs episode, you'd know at the end it's going to feel nice.
Yeah. Also funny as well. Like, people think it's
Vanilla.
It's very quotable though.
No, it is. For a mainstream, it's got enough going on.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, that'll be a big one.
But like, haven't they released the BBC schedule a few months ago, and it's like an exact replica of the one from 15 years ago. So Wallace and Gromit is on as well, and there's one other one, and it's the exact same order, not by design, just that's obviously what people want.
Oh wow.
There's a I won't give my opinion on the Mrs. Brown's Boys Christmas
situation.
specials.
I would think of any of them. Home Alone I've done too many times, so it just when I see it on, it just won't. I think the one I will always stop and think, I love this, is Back to the Future.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
And actually really holds up.
Oh, and the rest.
My favourite, and not getting, I promised Colin I wasn't going to get into the Die Hard Is It Christmas,
no,
so I'm actually not going down that direction.
It's boring.
But a film that's accidentally become iconically Christmas, I think, is Catch Me If You Can.
Has it?
Yeah, because it's always on.
Right.
And like, it's probably my favourite film ever in general. And
I need to rewatch it. Is
it's
it?
amazing. I love it.
Okay.
But yeah, there's there's a Christmas through line, and you might need to watch it back to see it. So I always thought they just put it on at Christmas because it was like, I don't know, got into the routine. But I can see I don't want to spoil it on you if you want to rewatch it.
Yeah, I'll rewatch
it. There's a really cool little through line, and Christmas is at the heart of it. So that's to answer your question, Colin. That's going to be what I'll watch.
I think It's a Wonderful Life is also just properly good. I just think it's so good.
It's great.
I mean, and Jimmy Stewart is just about as kind of charismatic as it gets, brilliant as it gets.
I feel like every time I watch that, though, you come away being like, oh, I want to be a better person. I want to be more like him as well.
I mean, there can be too much thinking time over Christmas. You know, you don't want to overdo that.
Like I mentioned Hallmark earlier. The Hallmark movies are always on in our house as well. You know, just
what are the Hallmark movies?
Amazing Christmas films.
Irish Wish. Have you seen that?
No, they're better than that.
Lindsay Lohan.
They're more formulaic. I have seen that, but somebody moves back from the big city to a small town, doesn't want to be there.
Okay.
Learns to love it. Falls in love with somebody.
Yeah.
You know, then he's helping the town festival for Christmas, putting up the tree. Realizes I don't want to go back to the hustle and bustle. I like it just here.
Yeah, it's nice. I do enjoy Love Actually, I have to say. I know it's broadly been cancelled now.
Has it?
I think basically
everything's been cancelled.
Every storyline in it is now seen as, well, that's creepy.
Oh.
So you've got, what's his name? He was in The Walking Dead then. Andrew Lincoln. He's stalking 17-year-old Keira Knightley.
Yeah.
You've got Prime Minister hitting on Martin McCutcheon. Power dynamics odd there. Yeah. Just right the way through, it's been, I don't know about this. Even Richard Curtis has come out and said, right, we do a lot of things differently. But if you take it on its, judge it by the time it was made in, no offence intended, I think it's still nice.
I think the Alan Rickman storyline is the most potent and memorable.
Someone made a great point recently that, when Rowan Atkinson is taking forever to wrap the present, you really shouldn't be on Rickman's side there, but for some reason you're like, hurry up!
She's coming!
That was an amazing little scripting moment there.
Very good.
The bridge needed to be good there and they over-delivered.
Yeah. But then she's phenomenal when she gets the Joni Mitchell CD.
Amazing.
Really amazing acting.
Harry Potter among my friend group would be a big...
Jesus. Don't ruin it on me.
Would be
don't ruin Christmas. The kids are such bad actors. They killed these wonderful books. I can't look at them.
Basically, what I was going to say. It's become, for my generation, that is like a Christmas association.
Big time. Yeah.
What I was going to say, just on the Emma Thompson point.
Do you agree that the kids ruined the movies?
I think they did a reasonably good job, considering your casting for what is initially a kids' movie and then darker themes. I think Emma Watson did pretty good. No? Terrible. Anyway, let me finish my point. It's what I didn't realise maybe the weakness of the kid actors when I watched them the first time when I was younger.
Fair.
What I didn't appreciate at all when I watched it the first time was the calibre of the supporting actors. It's off the charts.
Who's it? Rickman?
Emma Thompson's in it, I'd say, across the period of the whole 8 movies, 11 minutes.
Is that all?
I'm just guessing, but she's like one of the most iconic actors, British actors ever.
It's a pity Richard Harris...
I thought
he was good.
I thought Gambon did a great job though. To be
as
fair.
well, did you? Yeah,
I thought he did. Yeah, and
I sort of stopped watching them as it went on. I just couldn't stand it.
Really?
Yeah, I really.
I definitely don't feel that.
Found the kids offensively bad.
Jesus.
There's not enough Hogwarts in the Harry Potter films. I haven't read the books, but there just need to be. It's just such a cool set.
If you watch it on mute, it's fantastic. Righty, sorry, I've said we're done a few times. Christmas was
Elf is the best Christmas film.
Well, I just want to say that.
for posterity.
Gents, it was great to come in here on Christmas Eve. This can be our new tradition.
Where are we going for brunch? And you're paying.
We will go to, what's that lovely shopping centre on South William Street?
The Pepper Pot.
Pepper Pot.
Oh yeah.
And there's
hang
carol
on.
singers in there.
I'm not coming back to Dublin
Will you make
on
your
Boxing Day.
Will you make your bus?
No way.
Sorry, it's Christmas Eve.
What are you talking about, Colin?
It's Christmas Eve, Colin. This is Christmas Eve.
I thought you were on about your Boxing Day lunch.
No, we're live.
We've done all our shopping.
Before you go home.
You were just saying earlier about sitting watching people go by. I thought you were inviting us
I
to.
thought once I go to Derry, you want me to come back down on the 26th.
It's the 24th of December before we all go.
Okay, before we go, I can go to the Pepper Pots. Yes.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Thanks, Joe.
Gentlemen, what a pleasure over the last couple of months. Starting from 0 to
Likewise.
whatever this debacle was over the last 41 and a half minutes.
You should be segueing another 5 minutes to get your reflections over the last couple
No.
of months.
No, we'll do that in a year. We'll do that in a year. But sincerely, great stuff. Have a great Christmas. Ronan Muller, thank you. Conan,
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. Listeners, thank you so much.